Jump into a phone call right now with Bridgette Tatum, catching us a little bit early, but trying to work in on your schedule right now. You're on your way to the airport there in Nashville, is that right?
I am. I'm headed to South Carolina.
And you've got something happening there. What's happening in South Carolina?
Well, actually, I'm going to play a radio show over at the Carolina Ale House, so I'm pretty excited. I told you earlier I was going to be on home turf, so I'm always excited. I'm excited when I get to play a show, but when I get to go home, it's pretty special.
Where exactly is home? That is actually the home or close to home, or where were you?
Well, it'll be, I'll be about an hour and a half away. I'm from Florence, South Carolina.
All right. Never been to South Carolina. I want to try to get back to the southeast, and the eastern seaboard.
That is a shame, Rollin. That is a shame. We got to get to the Carolinas.
Well, I'm getting you out here to California and the west coast of the Pacific Ocean coming up here in about a week and a half. So I will turn around and be fair, and we'll try to get back to your neck of the woods here in the future then.
Yeah, we need to make that happen. I look forward to coming there. I actually look forward to coming there because all of the water that's around you will be in the correct place instead of in Nashville.
Well, let's talk about that real quick. You were mentioning just as we were waiting for the song there to end that you, and I like this about you, you've got a pickup truck. So you've been out helping your neighbors there in Nashville. Tell me about the flooding and what's going on.
I have. I don't know if you've seen the pictures of the Opry, but it's really devastating to see that alone. But I will tell you, yeah, I've got a truck, and I have been headed everywhere that I can with tarps and sump pumps and anything that I could do. I put on my boots as soon as I landed back from Iowa and my camo pants, and I started tarping roofs and trying to get the water pumped out of my friends' houses. I've got a couple that they lost everything. So on May 16th at the listening room here in Nashville, I'm going to do a really big benefit, and got some artists, friends of mine that are coming out to help, and we're going to do a clothing drive and do a food drive and just see if we can get some of these people back on their feet.
Well, Kenny Chesney said something here in the last couple of days about, he's lost a lot of stuff, like a lot of artists have, but he can replace his stuff. There are a lot of people that have lost their livelihood and people that have lost their lives, and, so much more serious.
Yep, it's a lot more serious. Julie Roberts, who is, she's an artist from South Carolina. I don't know if you remember her or not, but
I do.
She and her mother and her 4 dogs were rescued from the top of her house.
Wow.
So when people are seeing it on the news, to actually be around it is something different to see. But when you're seeing it on the news, they're not exaggerating. It's as bad as what it sounds.
Well, we're looking forward to having you come out here. You're going to be out here on the 18th. I actually flying into Sacramento on the 17th, making the drive up, and hopefully get a few hours to show you the ocean, show you the redwoods before we got that concert coming up. And I got to say thank you right off the top, because you're coming out no charge to us, so that we can get any extra money that we're able to raise to go back to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. And that's where I first met you back in January. You were with the artists that were touring the hospital, helping out there. Give us again what your impression of that wonderful place is all about.
Well, the place is about hope, and I said before, I thought I was going to walk in there and I was going to expect sadness, and that it was going to be probably depressing, and I didn't know how I was going to be able to handle seeing all of those children with no hair and walking around with all these tubes and things that are hooked into their body. But I go in there and it's like, can I hang out here for a little bit? I mean, they do so much. They've got a place where they can go get ice cream. They've got their little cafeteria. All of them have cool hats, and they're just so uplifted. There's nothing that's bringing them down other than the fact that they're sick, and we need to make sure that we raise money to help those kids so that they've got all the means that are necessary to help them with their illnesses.
And that's one of the things that, we do our radiothon, and this year I wanted to do something special because we have a lot of people out here who have been partners in hope and that stepped up again to become partners in hope and renewed with us on the air and so forth. And I wanted to give them a little extra something special to say thank you, and that's what we're doing here with this concert. And at the same time, we have some additional tickets that we're trying to sell just to, again, raise as much money. We're going to have somebody from St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital here. Going to show a few videos ahead of time of what the hospital's all about, so what you and I have had a chance to walk through the doors and experience. We're going to try to bring that experience to everybody that's going to be at the Arkley Center, which is a beautiful venue. And I had an idea this morning as somebody called and asked me to play something for a child that's going through some cancer treatment right now. I thought, you know what? If everybody that is going to be showing up for your show bought an extra ticket or two and brought maybe a survivor along, I thought that would just be a lot of fun that night on May 18th.
Great. Yeah, that would be great. That would be so special for people to be able to meet people that have actually survived it. It's just a tragedy that the thing happens at all, but yeah, if somebody could actually meet somebody that survived it, that's a my life, to meet the kids that were not sick, that actually came through it, and then to meet the little ones that are, which is unfortunate, but it's always a neat thing to meet them.
Hey, let's talk real quick about your music, because I know that, like you said, you got to get through the airport and you got to go through all that security and stuff like that. You've had a lot of push for you like your Cowboys Dirty and stuff like that. But I got to say, when I got your album here, and I had a chance to go through the album Sex, Church, and Chicken, I'll have to ask you in a second about that title. But I like some of the slower stuff on here. You do just a wonderful job with things like Some Things Need to Be Said and Missing You Crazy. I just played a little bit ago. Talk about how you choose what's on that CD.
Oh my gosh, it's so hard. I write so many songs that came into the publishing company with 200 songs, and I've been really blessed to be able to have title after title to write. But I'll tell you, there's some that kind of separate themselves, where it looked like they're going to grow up with me better, or grow up with me better with my vocals than somebody else's. And so I try to make sure that it's something that I'm going to be able to feel all the way through, so that when I get to the live performance, that it transfers as well or better than what you hear on the CD. So I do a lot of praying. I'm a big prayer. I pray over my songs. I know that might sound crazy to people, but I pray about everything. But, I just try to look for direction to make sure that I'm choosing the right things and that I'm saying the right things, and all of that just summed up into that title, which is Sex, Church, and Chicken, the name of the album. But I ended up with some special things on there, like Hold On To Me. I started in gospel music. That's my roots. I've always been true to that. Said when I created an album that I would include that on there, and was able to do that. And, Missing You Crazy comes from that deep place where when there's somebody that's gone and it hits you all of a sudden, then a song like that comes out of you. But, yeah, I've got some rocking things on there. But what you were saying, the slower stuff on there, I think people view me as just a rocker, and I love to rock. But I also love ballads that are really meaningful, and they say something to everybody else after I get them away from my pen.
Well, I'm really looking forward to having you in concert out here, and it's going to be kind of an acoustic section. You got some musicians coming along to back you up here, but it's going to be a lot of fun. It's May 18th. It's at the Eric Lee Center, and people that are listening right now who haven't picked up their tickets, that we owe them for the being a partner, and hope you should do that right away. And we ask buy some extra tickets, and with the idea that we had today about bringing along maybe some survivors that you know as well, buying some tickets. All the extra money here is going to be going back to St. Jude, so that's just wonderful. Could I get you to hang on the phone? I want to get a couple of liners from you. And I know you got to get through security. We look forward to having you out here and showing off our West Coast when you come out for this concert, Bridgette. And thank you very much.
I want to tell you, I don't know how much you're selling your tickets for. We can talk about that when I get off. But if there's some survivors that they're bringing along, I would really love to sponsor those tickets for them to be there, if you'll let me know how many you have.
Well, and I said the same thing this morning for a couple of folks that we were playing some of the music for, that I personally will pay for the tickets as well. But one way or the other, I'd love to see if we can get as much of a full house as possible, and love to have some survivors along with us. So we've got a week and a half to do it. I think we can make it happen, Bridgette.
Oh, it's going to happen. If everybody is ready to rock and have a good time and do it for the joyful noise of being able to help these kids, then y'all need to come on.
All right. Super. Have a great flight. Hang on the telephone for just a second. We look forward to having you live in person here in just a week and a half, Bridgette. Thanks.
Oh, thank you, Rollin.
All right.